Hello and welcome back to the Football Manager Save Le Havre, where this will be obviously the first episode in the second season. Now, a lot to get through before we get into this first game against Marseille. Probably first, it's best to look at the transfers we actually brought in and out, if that's possible to see. Yes, it is. So we kind of start with the outs. Depends when was this done. You might have. Well, Abdul Barr's gone out on loan. We got a little fee for that. Artiside Wham left for free. A lot of these are going to be players that you probably didn't even realise I had. A lot of loans. Isaac Toure is going to unload as well, only because he will play every week at Châteauroux. To be fair, he was on the cusp of being a start for me in this team, so maybe I could have kept him around. But I think when it comes to being a bench option, I might as well keep someone without the potential as a bench option rather than play someone with it. So he can play every week back at Châteauroux in the league below. Whilst we use someone like Mayembo probably as a backup, or Ersoy. Also sold this youngster, Lucas Marin, which I think they were trying to make up the classic story of like, why are we selling talented players? But he was never going to be, I mean, at best he'd be 4-star, and that sounds quite good, but it'll take him a while to get there, and hopefully we'll naturally progress. And we have a lot of players in the way of him anyway, with people like, well, someone you don't know I got, but there is someone there as well as Abdelli. Yeah, now if we look at the ins, most of them will be on a free, as we weren't blessed with a load of money, a bit of money to work with, of course, but most of that was always going to go into the wage budget. So you kind of let it go into the wage budget and get free transfers when there's a lot out there just to be kind of first division quality. I usually see that as the best way to play it. So we've got Steven Moreira here just as a right back. A lot of 14s in there, good crossing on him, tackling, not slow, good work rate. So just all round will probably be our first choice right back and hopefully a solid little player. Some of you might have just seen them. Benito is kind of the shining light here. 4-star winger, I think. Did we actually pay for him? Was he also on a free? He was also on a free, so yeah, cracking deal. Just kind of similar to Moreira at right back, pretty well rounded and everything. Just a lot of 13s, 14s, good technique on him. So hopefully he'll help either score goals himself or help Jamal Tiare to maybe probably not score 30 in this top league, but hopefully score a fair few goals again. We've got Mike Stephen Barr from Barnsley, if you might know if you follow English football now. Initially, he was probably going to be like a cam backup for Abdelli. You'll see in the tactics now we don't actually currently run a cam, but we do have centre mids that he can take the spot of. Probably more just a squad depth option here. He was cheap, and they did deem it as like a good move to make. Not quite as talented as the last two, but still some more stats in there, and he has got a bit of room to grow. So, yeah, not awful, as they say, when they labelled him a fringe player with room to improve. That's essentially what he is. Then got Honzak here. Predominantly a left mid, but he will be playing left wing for us. Also not on the level of the other two, but 3-star, bit of room to go, relatively quick. Hopefully just, add more. It's really about stacking up our wingers a bit more. I don't think we really had backups for when they were gone. We've then got Lukas Jovanovic, who was actually a Bordeaux player, played there for quite a while. Not as many appearances as he probably liked in about 5 years, but also came available on a free. You can see 3.5-star, 4.5 potential. He's really going to be the main key to keeping out goals. Again, 14 marking, heading, positioning. Some very good stats there. So yeah, he will probably be our best defender. Other than Meras, but there is something going on with Meras I have to show you. We also bought Jack Rolls on a free. I believe was a Tottenham youngster at one point. Yes, he was. Couple kind of appearances or loan appearances for Cambridge and Burton. Never really made anything stick at Tottenham. Bless me. But yeah, another kind of 3-star player with 4-star potential. Will probably initially start for us. We'll see. But yeah, where he's got room to improve. Again, a lot of these are kind of relatively young, kind of early to mid-20s with a little bit of room to improve, just to kind of, so they're good for now and hopefully good for seasons to come. Those are all the ins so far. Something I did want to mention, with Meras is currently is suspended, I believe, because the same he did last season, so won't be in the lineup straight away. But I was rejecting bids, as obviously he's a 4-star left back. I'd like to keep him 25, no need to rush him out the door. I believe the board accepted this bid for Malikau. and there was nothing I could do about it, which isn't great. I think I rejected another bid from someone else, and then when someone else came in, they went, yeah, this offer's too good, and accepted it on my behalf, which isn't great from the board, to be honest. It's not what I want to see him doing, but yeah, because of this, he might head out the door. At least that's how I remember it happening. It's been a little while. So, of course, if he does stick around, great, but we'll see if this is the way he goes out the door. That's not ideal. We've looked at the tactic we're going with this time around. It is, well, it's a clean slate, because I've kind of tried to base it off of, I didn't really want any kind of pressure on it to be a certain thing. If it's modelled off anyone, it's kind of modelled off Rangers under Steven Gerrard, really. Getting those wing backs high, a playmaker to make sure you can get it out to them, whilst these are both inverted wingers, so they kind of tuck in to help centrally, whilst these wing backs do get past them, and yeah, hopefully create problems. Also got Jack Rolls here playing a Mazzala to try and get in these kind of half spaces around here, kind of like Paul Pogba at Juventus, to kind of chill around here, create problems both inside and out. Of course, it may be deemed a bit attacking for the French First Division, considering we are a team that come up to have this kind of ballsy, really, attacking tactic. Maybe it might backfire, but we'll try it first, as if I will show you obviously the friendlies and how they went. Generally, they went well. And an early win here on Zach Benito. Draw here. Obviously, a lot of these are going to be rotated sides. It's not like I was playing the first team the whole time, so probably more these games, the ends are the better judge. But yeah, another 2-game win there. Matthew Smith, we did try on a trial, but he didn't manage to stick around. This, we mainly lost because whereas a testimonial, they bring new players in, like actually Horauer I mentioned in the last one, did. I think he's probably got the joint record now with Jamal Tiare for most goals in the season for Le Havre, as well as some other people that I'd let go or had gone before I got here. So I thought I'll use them for the sake of Fontaine's testimonial, and as the game wore on, you can see all their goals were in the second half. So that's the main reason that happened. Yeah, playing Valencia, I believe we're in the league below. Yes, they are. A calm little 2-0 win. Jovanovic and Pite. Then I don't know who this team are or where they play. They are Portuguese in the third division. Yeah, not great. Yeah, an easy 3-0 win there. This is probably the most impressive of the bunch, the 3-0 win over St Etienne, who actually are in our league. So hopefully that is a good sign that we may manage to make a good attempt to staying up. Peter Abdelli and Barra with the goals. And then a 4-1 win over Murcia just to finish off the friendlies. But yeah, the most goals we'd scored all pre-season, so it's a good thing to come late. But you can see Jamal Tiare did get a brace there. Unfortunately for us, as we get through these tactical meetings, it probably is best to go, I'll probably go cautious rather than defensive. Defensive seems a bit kind of negative, and perhaps I'll have to tweak these fullbacks to not be so attacking. I may pay the price again for like still being too attacking essentially. But yeah, unfortunately for us, we did get late pre-season injuries to Tiare. Not a long one, but it's still there. Obviously, Maris is suspended, but maybe out the door. And people like Pite probably would start, but with this little niggling injury, there's no point in me risking him too much. Yeah, it's been an interesting one, really, to see how this one goes. As Marseille are a team that are probably trying to finish around Europe, whereas we're just solely, to begin with, trying to stay up. And that's the kind of initial expectation. That may change as the season goes on if we do happen to be very good. But yeah, it does give a chance to Yalan Gomez to have a go up front. I believe I've still got bids for him coming in on loan, but I think he's our best kind of backup striker at this point, unless, of course, you do consider Aloui also a backup striker, which arguably is. There's a chance maybe one of them goes out on loan. It might be more likely to be Aloui actually this time, but yeah, I think Yalan Gomez with the, has he still got 5-star that dropped to 4.5 star potential now? More 4.5, yeah, with him being that and kind of the initial guy we set our sights on, he's going to get the chance to have a go over Tiare because of his injury, and yeah, hopefully we don't, well, for starters, hopefully we don't get battered in this one, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I've just tried to use the kind of classic encourage shout I do around 15 minutes. That's roughly when they first become effective shouts. Do them like in the 10th minute. I don't think they register or they take a while to do so. We've got a highlight here. We do actually playing Yalan Gomez, and he has finished that for us. So That is exactly there I kind of want Jack Rolls in, kind of sat just outside, trying to play ballsy either out wide or through to Alan Gomez. It's a great run, really. Perfectly weighted pass to get there right before the keeper, which kind of just makes the finishing decision even easier. There's no thinking, do I go left, do I go right? You see at the point he makes or gets the ball, he can only really go to the goalie's left and his right there. And that's a great way to start, really. 15 minutes in to be 1-0 up against Marseille. Yeah, great start. Got a chance right in half here. Pai obviously very good on free kicks, and he does show us it right there. Plants it right on the head of Saicedo, and to be honest, from there he has to do better. I was going to actually compliment us heavily because only right until the last 5 minutes at half, they actually had no shots at all, which, yeah, was an incredible start, really. I don't want to jinx anything and it fall to pieces, but if you look at generally, yeah, the pass completed as well as the possession and the XG for the limited amount of shots, they're all very impressive stats, really. So it seems to be working so far. I'm probably not going to make any changes as of yet. So yeah, I'll tell them I'm happy with it. Of course, could tell them to not get complacent, but I'd tell them I'm happy because I'm generally happy. And hopefully they don't get too confident and throw it away. So yeah, hopefully the second half can continue in the same vein. They do have a high throw in here. Kenny Lalo, they seem to have signed. I didn't really check who's in their team, but Tovan and Rongier are actually their players, so they seem to have stuck around. But Hughes does get his head on that and clears it to Honzak with space to run into. They don't seem to want to stop him as he approaches the box now. Can he find the far post? I mean, in an attempt to find the far post, he was probably closer to finding the corner flag, which is a bit embarrassing considering how, well, the run was very good to get to that point. So, yeah, the finishing would definitely disappoint him. Might make a quick sub here in one of the wing positions. Pite was carrying an injury coming into it, but I think he's pretty all right now. Let's see what one he's probably better at playing at. Hang on, I've made a mistake there. Swap them back around. I could probably make a sub for both of them, actually. Screw it. Pite and Barre are both coming on. I'll probably leave the remaining subs for now. There's nothing drastic that needs to be done. Everyone's playing relatively well. Of course, got the yellow cards in the team. Hopefully they don't turn into reds and blow this game for us. I'm going to put faith in the team at this point. Or just to come off saying that, they do have another high throw in. Lecal tries to win it back, doesn't quite, and they do instantly chuck a ball in there. So Saicedo gets there before our centre back and does slot it in. So it'll be a disappointing end to quite an impressive game, but of course a point away to Marseille I definitely probably would have took if you offered it to me before the game started. So can't really complain on that front. I would perhaps take Koulibaly off if there was anyone on the bench who could do it. The other Koulibaly can, but fitness-wise he's not really there. So he's just going to have to probably see that one out for us. Or this one out, not that one. So fine, we're kind of dicing with death there a bit in our own box. Hopefully this, I mean, if we can nick it, brilliant. But if we can at least get a point here, that would be lovely. We drift into added time now. There is a late highlight. This could be quite sad for us, but Fontaine does win the throw-in. Rolls, and there is a ball to be played out the right if he wants to play it. Now also one to be played for the middle. He doesn't do either, and so I go back to Fontaine as we probably kill the momentum of the attack there. But our left back has got high, if you can see him. A lot of runs I'm seeing that they're not, and it's a disappointing attempt at a through ball in the end. But hopefully we can win the header on this. We can, but again, just give it straight back to him. Poor touch from Alvaro there, then Peter picks up the pieces. Again, these passes in the final third are just not cutting it, and if we drop points here, this will be quite frustrating. Tovan now gets in the box, and he's not someone I want to let in there, and they're probably going to give a penalty for that. There's no way they overturn this. Absolute nightmare, to be honest, to be playing that well, to throw it away this late. Yeah, there's no way they don't see anything other than a penalty. Yeah, brilliant. Very sad to watch it happen. Our only hope now is that Koulibaly was tired. Maybe I should have subbed him off, but generally playing well. Our only hope now is that he's saved by the keeper. Can Fofana come up big? No, he cannot. Pai, to be fair, is probably not the man to miss penalties as set pieces are his bag, pretty much. So, yeah, an absolute calamitous way to let it slip, really, this late on. But the overall kind of tactic and performance is nothing to be too disappointed at. Obviously, their XG does look impressive in the end, but it was because they had a penalty. Penalties make them absolutely sore. But in terms of the pass completion and possession, I'm happy with that. I'd like to perhaps get more shots off, but Marseille are an alright team. say they're underdogs here with their best effort because at the end of the day they probably did. It's just disappointing, that it happened in the way it did. So I'll see you in the next game against Brest, which can hopefully be will go a bit better as they are not quite at the level of Marseille. A couple of alterations from the first game now. Meras, the deal actually did fall through, so whether it's accepted by the board or not, well, I guess it was because I wouldn't have accepted it. He has rejected the contract there, so he does seem like he'll be staying, which a 4-star left back on wing back attack is, well, ideal. It's exactly what I want there, so it's good that he's sticking around. Turns out I did actually accept the loan offer. I didn't realise I had 4 Yalan Gomez to play every week at Clermont Foot in the league below again, which they have great facilities on them as well, and he'll be playing every week, so that's good for him. So we'll be using Aliou as Tiara isn't quite back yet. Hopefully he'll be back for the next game when that comes around. Benito is not quite, I'd say, ready either. So I mean, without both of those, which isn't ideal, obviously, but to know they're coming into this already relatively decent looking side, especially in defence and defensive midfield, it's just it's promising signs for the future. But we're a game against Stade Brest, which hopefully we can actually get points from this time, unlike the first game. So hopefully this one goes better. Earlier on here, we do actually keep the ball from a throw-in, which is a shock. Hope we can keep it for a bit longer, as that pass looked to be drifting to being loose, but we do hold on to it. Moving the ball well up the field now. Probably a bit of a rash start from Honzak, and hopefully that's not the only part of the highlight. We do get to the bar on here with Moreira to pull back the Honzak. That just goes over the bar. It's a not bad play overall. Not quite had the possession and pass completion I'd like early on, but hopefully that picks up. Pite gets the ball on the right here. You can just play a simple ball back there. The only option on for him is Moreira. So does seem to love to go at his men. Not one to knock it off easily. Does seem to want to take on and get to bylines and stick balls in. I shouldn't word it as stick balls in, to be honest, but put balls in the box is probably the better way. So I appreciate his kind of forward thinking. So not too exciting of a first half. Again, both the highlights did happen to us. We are slightly edging them on XG as we have had more shots, but we do want to get those on target ideally. Hopefully in the second half we can kick on really. Aliou doesn't seem to be up to much, so thinking really if there's anything I can do to change that. I think Honzak can put up front 2.5 star up there, so I'll try that. With bar into here and hopefully that does anything, or anything, hopefully it does something here. Probably all I do for now. Yeah, it generates some kind of a response. This isn't the response I want as they get a corner. Win the header, thank God for us it goes wide. Really unactive second half, just the one highlight. To be honest, a very unactive game, really. 3 highlights in it, and I don't think any of the shots are actually on target. So, I'd have liked probably more. Considering Brest, especially at home, is going to be one of our winnable games. You don't want to let too many of those pass by. But defensively, great. Only obviously seeing that one highlight kept their XG to like under half a goal, which always gives you a good chance to not concede in that case. Whether this tactic kind of sticks around for too long, obviously have to be seen. But defensively, it's doing the job, and really, I'll let Benito and Tiare come in to that'll be the real test on whether it's working or not, as they are better players. Really, obviously, as I said, not that you've seen Benito, but a 4-star winger is always going to have an impact, as well as someone who scored like 30 goals last season. So if we can't score with them in the team, then I'll have to obviously have a think, but I'll let that happen first. So 1 point from the 2 games isn't ideal, but obviously we are a newly promoted side. If you, of course, manage to not lose that, especially with how late we lost it, literally in the final minute, and maybe got something more from Brest. I mean, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points would have been nice and easily attainable, but obviously only have the 1, but it is better than 0, obviously. So, not an ideal start, but it'll have to do. As to when I'll come back is a good question, to be honest. There's not really many that stand out. Obviously, last year you can kind of work out, that's a big game. I would like to come back for PSG at some point, but obviously I'm not going to wait all the way to PSG, so probably really kind of work out where the gap is nice there. So I'll go PSG and Auxerre, I reckon, as they come up with us. They actually come up through the playoffs, which fair play to them. So that's the 2 games there. It's just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games before it. So how I split this? 1, 2, 3. Somewhere around Strasbourg, Saint Etienne, and Nice. So I'll work out exactly when to do it. I'll come back for Strasbourg and Saint Etienne. No, Saint Etienne and Nice. I'll do those 2. I mean, it's ballsy, but Nice are quite a decent side, or at least I say that. They finished 7th last year, to be fair to them. So yeah, I'll come back for those 2 games. So yeah, Montpellier, Bordeaux, Lyon, and Strasbourg. I will play away from the save, and then I'll come back after that for PSG and Auxerre. So yeah, hopefully we can actually start to pick up more points than just 1 from 2 games in these games. You won't see, and yeah, when we come back, hopefully we'll be a much better side, and Thiago and Benito will be fit, and things will look rosier. That's the ideal world. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.